Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Also, please, prayers and positive thoughts to those who are in the pathway of this incoming hurricane. I'm in Virginia, and all we're getting is, just cloudy weather and nonstop rain. But my heart goes out to everybody, in the southern states who are dealing with it. I am not looking forward to news reports later on today or in the morning with updates of flooding and things like that. So just please be safe out there. Now, for this episode of Beyond the Gates, it was pretty good. I want to give it a solid 9 out of 10. And you know the drill. Make sure you take a moment to like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And let's dive in. So the first scene, I actually liked it a lot. It was really, just like a positive vibe. For one, I loved Anita in the red. What was it, like the red headband and everything? And it's been quite a while since we've had Smitty, Martin, Anita, and Vernon in a scene like this. So, they had just had dinner and, they're just sitting around talking. And they mention the vow renewal, and they also talk about Vernon and Anita and the legacy, they're leaving behind. So they take a moment to thank Smitty for forgiving them for the deception over the past couple of years regarding that night. Martin and Vernon got into a situation when they had the flat tire. And it definitely was a lot to deal with the darkness that was caused by the secret. Now, that's when Smitty says that, well, I just figured that our marriage is a work in progress and they're on the right path because they just started counseling, which is good because I recall them agreeing to counseling, date nights, and then, of course, Smitty proposed and they renewed their vows. So it seems like despite all the deception and the cheating and the failed marriages going around in the family, at least we got someone or one pair that seems to be going in the right direction to get back on track. So they do bring up how emotional Nicole got at the ceremony, and Vernon mentions that Ted has made his bed and now he needs to sleep in it. So from there, they discuss Smitty and his career goals, and Anita says how important it is to have separate careers, which is great. I mean, let's not forget their kids are a year or two away from leaving the nest to go to college, so having careers outside of themselves is a good thing. Now, Martin has Smitty's back career-wise, and Smitty has, his basically, hey, we're both going to be supportive, which I love to see this due to the fact that major departure from how this started, where Martin was determined to keep Smitty an at-home husband and was not for him getting back into the journalist world. Now, he's going to need that extra support since he has another campaign to run for in the near future. So they do remind him that he can't run for president in 2028, and he reminds him that midterms are coming up next year. And he forgot about it until now, but he's just been ignoring the people in his district for the time being. And they laugh about how he used to lecture restaurant servers for throwing away food, and that's what led him to politics. Okay, that's actually pretty funny in hindsight, and Smitty is impressed by this old story. Now, Vernon tells another piece of advice in regards to Martin always being a remarkable human being, and he's sure the voters will remember that. So Anita adds she'll be sure to remind his donors as well. Now, once Smitty and Martin leave, Vernon says it's no surprise that they're back on track with role models like them. I feel like that's foreshadowing. You know how it is whenever someone or a pairing seems picture perfect, like, yep, I'm glad people look up to us. There's usually some deception or secrets that will be revealed soon. Need I remind you, Nicole, this is what's killing her. For years, decades, women used to say, oh, Ted, he's your husband. We envy you so much, Nicole. We wish our husbands were as loving and devoted as Ted is to you. And look what happened to her. So we go over to Uptown. Chelsea sits down with her cousin and they discuss the best practices for their business. Now, Chelsea notices Kat keeps staring at the door and wonders, like, what, are you waiting on someone? And Kat says that Samantha is bringing swashes And Chelsea asks, why are they there again? Kat was hoping they'd run into Isaiah. And Chelsea's like, what, are you into him? And Kat's like, no, I'm just trying to make sure Eva doesn't get her claws into him. And that's when Chelsea doesn't buy her being, this paranoid about Eva. And, oh, I get it. You're just out to get payback, right? And Chelsea is certain that Isaiah can make up his own mind. And I know it's been pretty divisive ever since Monday's episode about Kat and the way she rolled up on Isaiah to warn him about Eva. Some people are like, see, Kat is just as bad as y'all are trying to make Eva out to be. No, Kat is looking out for a distant relative. Basically, Jacob is Naomi's brother. Jacob is Naomi's husband, and Jacob is Kat's cousin by marriage. So by extension, Isaiah, I believe, fits into the Andre category of, yeah, I'm not really related to these folks. But either way, I don't feel bad for Kat doing what she did, because, hey, tick for tat. How many times did Eva do the same crap to Kat? Just saying. But that's when Samantha arrives due to a fire alarm at school delaying her trip. That's, man, that takes me back, fire alarms. Well, hey, that's a good thing. The fact that I haven't heard one in a while. And when she goes back to get a menu from the counter, Kat starts talking about Tomas and how, oh, he can't get enough of me, so Eva must not have been that good in the sack after all. I don't know. That's an interesting topic of discussion here. Who satisfied Tomas more? I mean, I don't know. Because you two had that closet sex and you were satisfied. But before then you said Tomas wasn't up to par. I don't know. Well, at least Eva didn't put him in the hospital. I'll say that much. Now, Chelsea talks about how much sex changes the game. And that's when Samantha hears and smiles at this revelation. Because Kat talks about how great it is to finally leap into it. So they notice Samantha's been listening, and they try to tell her that, hey, there are more important things than sex. Hey, so, don't mind what we were talking about. So that's when she's like, you know what? I'd rather go eat in the cafeteria, and then she bolts. And that's when Kat worries that Martin would kill her if he figures out that we were talking sex in front of his daughter. So that's when Chelsea assures her, like, oh, well, I'm pretty sure what you said went in one ear and out the other. So that's when Samantha decides it's a good idea to bring Nathan back to her place. And she says that they're going to be alone for hours and I want to strengthen our connection. So then they take their shirts off and he's like, are you sure about this? Yeah, I am. So then he whips out the condoms. Well, to give Nathan a little bit of credit, he at least asked for consent. Like, are you sure about this? Yeah. So that's when Martin and Smitty come in and oh, man, what's the meaning of this? They use her full government name. I'm like, oh, dang, okay. Don't throw Kat under the bus. She ain't had nothing to do with this. So we go to the police station and Elon drops a whole pile of paperwork on Jacob's desk. Sometimes I forget this man got legs because he's been parked at that desk for so long at the police station. And that's when he tells him that he tells his dad that he's not on desk duty any longer. And Elon doesn't think he's learned the difference between being a smart and a good cop yet. So Jacob says, like, look, this isn't the Karate Kid. And I don't want lessons for you anymore. And it's like, you're no Mr. Miyagi. So that's when Isaiah comes in and is like, whoa, what's going on? And he likes seeing the quote-unquote perfect son getting scolded. So obviously out of the two brothers, you could tell who was daddy's favorite and who was the rebel of the pair. So Elon insists, I love all my children equally. I just want them to live up to their full potential. And even though Isaiah has a degree, he just hops from one low-paying job to another. And Isaiah brags about how, hey, I just got a job offer and I'm doing well financially. And I also got an offer from a local university. So the brothers fist bump and chest. So you could tell that Jacob is more understanding of his more free-spirited brother than his father. And I as someone who went to college, it's one of those things where I get where he's coming from, Isaiah, in the sense of when you get older, you kind of, well, maybe it depends on how you grew up, how you were raised and whatnot, because it's frustrating when you graduate college with a degree. I have multiple, and it's difficult to find work because your parents get on your case, and it's like, you don't think I'm not trying to get a job? And if you get a job, you might not feel fulfilled because it's like, well, this doesn't really apply to my degree or whatever. It's just like a job so I can survive, but it's not a job that I feel fulfilled with. And I could definitely tell Isaiah is one of those individuals where he's giving off the Lynn from Girlfriends, because wasn't Lynn in college for dang near the entire series, and she had like multiple master's degrees, but she didn't have any specific drive. She was smart, but she came across as a freeloading, free-spirited bum. But she had potential. It's just that it wasn't that she was lazy, it's that she didn't have anything going on that made her feel fulfilled. So I see where Isaiah is coming from there. Now, he does back up his offer that he received, but he didn't accept it. And his father assumes that he would just take off again in a couple of days like he usually does. And Elon isn't going to burden him with his expectations, but suggests that you at least go see your mother since she misses you. And Isaiah asks, well, did you miss me? And then after they argue a bit, that's when their dad takes off. So that's when Jacob talks to Isaiah a bit and wonders why he's reluctant to take that job. And Isaiah gets a text from his ex telling him not to avoid the job because of her. And that's when he tells Jacob, you know what? I am going to take the job after all. So that's when I want to read the text here, because I actually wrote it down because it was on the screen. And I love it when shows do this. Yolanda, if you're thinking of turning down the job because of me, don't. You and I are over. There's nothing left for you here. So, yeah. We go over to the hospital. Oh, dang, I'm going through this review fast. All right. So we go over to the hospital, and Shanice and Carlton talk about lymphatic fluids. I am not a nursing major. Some of these terms go over my head. But Nicole comes in mid-conversation. And they flirt for a bit, and Shanice jokes that she may need to call maintenance in order to lower the temperature. Shanice is I just love Shanice. Who doesn't? Come on now. That's when Carlton has already made reservations for him and Nicole at an Italian restaurant. Maybe I'm feeling a bit Alfredo and garlic bread sticks tonight myself. So, yeah, they got Italian dinner date. Ted shows up, and he's not happy to hear about their date. And then Nicole reminds him that, hey, aren't you my ex-husband? And then Ted asks if she's going to get Laura to set up a Tinder profile for her next. Dang. And that's when Nicole just rips into him about Leslie and repeat that you have zero say in what I have going on in my life. And that's when Carlton steps up. And then, of course, Ted tells him to step off. And, hey, I love Keith because it's been a long time. He's coming to his own as Ted. But I think that he doesn't really have the physical stature of Ted number one to really come across as intimidating to someone like Carlton. I'm just saying. Bro, this ain't Lightspeed Rescue. You ain't got your Green Ranger powers. So Ted is starting to doubt that he and Carlton are really friends and accusing him of, having an eye for his wife for years. I ain't gonna hold you. I said the same thing. You're not a real friend if you did that. Like, you literally have been in the sidelines this entire time waiting for me to drop the ball in the hopes that you could scoop up my wife next. That ain't a friend. Now, Nicole says that I was yours and you showed me how much you didn't value me. And then Shanice suggests that they take this somewhere private. Yeah, we don't want to make a bad impression in front of the patients, do we? So then Nicole trashes Ted again for talking to her like he never would have had in the past. And it's like, where is my Ted? Well, I mean, does it really matter? Because that's your ex-husband, right? So what does it matter how he talks to you? So then Carlton goes on about how incredible Nicole is and how she deserves a man like me. And that's when Ted threatens to put his fist upside his head. And then Nicole steps in complaining that Ted is constantly disappointing her, and then sends him about his way. And that's when she lectures Carlton about acting like a caveman and says their date is off, which I feel like it's a bit much. I just feel like, I think I said this in a lot of reviews, hurt people, and Nicole just wants to get under Ted's skin. But, I mean, I don't know. So, what, Nicole, like, were you hoping Ted would pop Carlton upside the head? And then what would have happened if he would have hit back? Would he have still been acting like a caveman, despite the fact that at that point it would have been self-defense because Ted made the first blow? I don't know. Well, then again, Nicole, you're the one listening to Danny, so I don't know what to tell you. How did you feel about this ending? I still enjoyed the episode, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. All right, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.